Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna have a little bit of a work day out here. We have a row of pine trees that are about a quarter mile long that have overgrowth and vines and everything you can think of, kind of killing the pine trees. And we recently had a storm and had some damage to our neighbors' sheds and things like that. So we're gonna clean up the area. It should be a good time. What all are we gonna use?
Well, we have to be careful because with the forestry mulcher, I don't want to put wood chips in the neighbor's yard, and I don't want to get it in the grassy area. Last time we ran the forestry mulcher, we had wood chips everywhere, and I went through mower blades left and right. So I'm going to try to go with the straight line with the forestry mulcher as much as I can, and then I'll probably use the bush hog and maybe the chainsaw. I don't know. We'll have to kind of wing it and see how it goes. So we're going to make some progress on it hopefully today and get some separation between the trees. That way we can then kill the vines that's growing up the trees and killing them.
So wish us luck.
All right, stay tuned.
See ya. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna follow Chris. So as you can see, he's kind of just cutting a line straight down the property line, and we'll work our way in as close to these trees as we can with the bobcat. So Chris is coming up on a property that had wind damage or storm damage from one of our pine trees. The pine tree uprooted and fell into her yard. So that is what all this brush is. And Chris came in and was able to clean up all of it and kind of regrade the area. So this is exactly what we're wanting the rest of this property line to look like.
I am stuck in the bobcat. So we had to jump start it this morning. The battery's on its last leg, but it started up and it's been running fine. Well, I just bogged down the forestry mulcher. I hit a log, it bogged it down enough to where it killed it. And it won't start back up now. Let me show you. It's just dead. And I cannot get out because the log is underneath the loader and I cannot lower the loader. So Allison is here, luckily, and I'm gonna have to walk her through how to open up the hatch on the back and hook it up to my truck and hopefully get this thing jump started because it is hot in here. I'm sweating like crazy.
I've got jumper cables. Never done this before. He's gonna have to walk me through it. Let's see how it goes.
All right, so step one, she's doing all right. I showed her how to pop the hood on my truck and she got it. So now I gotta have her open up the hatch on the back of the bobcat. So if you're looking at the back of the bobcat on the top left, reach inside, there's like a recessed area, grab it, it's a handle and it'll swing open. The whole big heavy metal door will swing open.
Okay, here we go.
All right, she's on a roll. Look at that. All right, now for the hard part, showing her where the jump point's on, because we don't jump it off the battery on this. You think you got it, or do you want to take a picture and send it to me and I'll circle where to hook them up?
I'm gonna take a picture and send it to you.
Okay, do that.
Okay.
Thank you. So moral of the story, never get into a bobcat with a weak battery, especially bobcat where the doors open forward like that, because if there's any kind of debris underneath your loader, you're stuck. And I don't think I'm squeezing out of this back window today. And always have a phone on you guys. If I didn't have my phone and if she wasn't here, this would be a really long day. All right, so she just sent me a picture. I gotta show her where the jump points are.
Okay, the red's on the positive, black on the negative. All right, I've got the red on the positive and the black on the negative, both on the bolts. Let's do this. I heard it! I think it's going. Let me see. Yeah, it's running. He's dying in there. Oh my gosh, look at that sweat.
Unhook them, but don't touch them.
Alright guys, here goes nothing. If you never see me in a video again, you know why.
Out in the open again, that's a good feeling. Alright, I think I'm going to put this thing up for the day until we get a new battery in it. I don't want to do that again.
Alright, so I'm up at the house. We are going to start a bonfire. It's going to be a pretty big one since we're putting all the brush and dead limbs, trees, stumps, everything from the side yard in it. And so I am going to play fire department. I'm going to fill up this 40-gallon container that's on the back of our John Deere with water, just water from the house. And yeah, we'll park it down there. Safety first, right? These things are so neat. If you don't have one, I would recommend them. It's got the boom sticks at the bottom as well. He'll probably make fun of me. They're probably not called boom sticks, but whatever they are, they're neat. You can press the button and spray while you go. But anyways, we won't need that. Today we'll just use the actual sprayer, which is right here if anything gets out of control.
Well, I cleaned up a little bit in front of that house, but this is going to take a long time, a lot of work. And I got to be careful with the bush hog because I don't want to shoot sticks into their house or into their backyard. So I'm just going to chip away at it little by little, but this is not going to get done today. I'm probably going to bush hog a little bit more, as much as I can. Probably do just one house at a time and move my way down, and then come back another day with chainsaws and get rid of all the saplings, the junk that's been growing up in between these trees. So just chip away at it little by little.
First house done. Maybe 15 more to go.
Lunchtime. What's up, Dodger? Hey, Molly.
see the neighbor's stuff. You can see that shed back there, making a little bit of a clearance. Alright, so remember that shed we could barely see a few minutes back? There it is.
Man, these vines are a pain in the butt. They'll just get wrapped around your axles and around the tires. What a mess. This is such a job. I'm just gonna keep chipping away at it little by little.
What happened?
Hydraulics started working kind of wonky, so I'm gonna let it cool off, and checked it. It's a little low on fluid, so I'm adding some hydraulic transmission fluid. The claw wouldn't open all the way, and the bush hog was not lowering and raising the way it should. So I think it was just low. I don't know if a vine got a hold of something and made me have a leak or what. I guess I'll find out here soon, but it's always something. All right, it's just gonna be one of those days today where just everything that can happen happens. So even after topping off the hydraulic fluid, the grapple still wouldn't open and close. And on this diverter here, this is what gives me my third function for the grapple. It looks like one of the hoses came loose, which would explain why I lost some fluid and why it's not working. So I'm gonna pop this back in, and hopefully that'll take care of it and get me back going again. I pulled this hose right out without trying to release the fitting. So I bet a vine got wrapped around it and pulled it out. It's really hot. I'm gonna try to get it reconnected here. Just gonna clean it out a little bit. Those vines, they're my nemesis today and many other days. There we go. Okay, let me check the other ones while I'm down here. Got some built-in rust preventative now, some oil on the undercarriage. All of the rest of them look good. I don't see any wetness anywhere. Back in business. It is the next morning. I'm out here, I'm gonna get some chainsaw work going today. So let me show you what I have in my pack out for this morning. So I've got my MS 261 as my main saw. Got me a drink, some gloves, a limbing saw, a bag with all my files and everything I need to work on the chainsaws, a first aid kit, gas oil mix, and of course, my camera bag. So this is the area I'm going to start with today. Let me give you a little close-up on what we're dealing with here. So underneath these pines, you can see we've got saplings growing, and these lower limbs, I really want to limb these trees up so that we can get the mowers around it. But you can see here's a sapling, there's a sapling, everywhere is a sapling, all over. Just a big giant mess in here. And we've lost about, I don't know, 20 feet of ground to the property line. So I'm gonna get in here with the chainsaw and start working, see how it goes. All right, well, that was about 15 minutes or so. It's like an obstacle course, trying to walk over all these branches and limbs. This is basically what I'm doing. Just kind of limbing up these pines, letting them fall, but they're falling on top of the saplings. So this is turning into a mess. But once I get all these on the ground, I can get the tractor out with the grapple and start taking them over somewhere else, get them out of here. This video is about as realistic as it can get, guys. Anytime you've got equipment, you're gonna have issues. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. As you saw yesterday, when I was working the Kioti tractor, I had a little hydraulic issue. It wasn't the tractor's fault. A vine got caught around one of the auxiliary lines, caused a leak, filled it up, fixed it, ran fine the rest of the day, parked it. I come back out this morning. As you saw, I just cut some limbs off of those pines. I come into the horse barn to get the Kioti tractor, and it won't start. It's throwing 4 different error codes, an error 1, 2, 7, and 8, I believe. So I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna go through the basics and see if I can figure it out, but it may be one of those days today. So I think I may have had an issue with some diesel. Here's the diesel filter, and underneath here there's a sensor that senses water. So I took the sensor off and drained quite a bit of the diesel out of the filter, and then primed it back up with this pump on top. There's a bleeder screw right here. So hopefully it's got some fresh diesel in the line, and we're gonna try to crank it now and see if it'll start up. All right, back in business. Well, it is definitely running, but I have no RPMs on my tack, and the temperature gauge, I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I just started it up, so if it doesn't start getting up to operating temperature, I'm gonna have to cut it off. I don't wanna take the risk of running it hot and not knowing it. So something else is still going on. At least it's running though. All right, I'm out here by the limbs that I cut. I really don't wanna work without any RPMs or temperature gauge. So I've been going through and just kind of making sure all these connectors are tight. And this one right here, it did click a little bit when I snapped it. So hopefully maybe just a vine pulled a wire loose. I don't know. I'm gonna go through the rest of these and then try to start it back up and see if all my gauges work. Still no luck. No engine RPM, no temperature. It seems to be running just fine, but I don't feel safe operating it, not knowing what the temperature of the engine is. So I'm gonna spend some more time on it. I'm gonna pull the cluster apart. Hopefully a wire got pulled loose from a vine or something. But guys, to be continued. Stay tuned.